when I don't believe my thoughts, and I don't try to fill that wide open gap. Would I have a clue what I'm supposed to do? Being vulnerable and unprotected, being open for the unsuspected, it's not what we would choose. We're so afraid to lose. Courage comes from that not knowing, the courage to acknowledge what is really here. Not knowing has been believed to be a weakness, but it's a well of strength and power beyond all fear. No, you don't know how to live. Is there a willingness to feel and sense what is here? Even when there is fear, no one else can tell you how it is for you. Yes, you are alone in this great unknown. But courage comes from that not knowing, the courage to acknowledge what is really here. Not knowing has been believed to be a weakness, but it's a well of strength and power beyond all fear. Instead of trying to fit in, you can live, express and feel whatever's true for you, even if you don't know what to do. Life will always challenge how you think that it should be, until it's clear to us, until the moment we can see that courage comes from that not knowing, the courage to acknowledge what is really here. Not knowing has been believed to be a weakness, but it's a well of strength and power beyond all fear.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Lovely to see you all. Those of you who are joining on Zoom, I can see you. Those who are watching the live stream, I can't see you. Or the recording, of course, definitely can't see you. But welcome anyway. Yeah, we do these live streamed or Zoom open meetings roughly every 2 weeks. It's twice a month on different themes. And today's theme is how to overcome fear and doubt. So today, so we'll get into that in a few minutes. But first, let's just take a few moments to tune into how we're feeling right now. So okay, we can get comfortable and close our eyes. And in closing our eyes, we start to turn our attention inwards to what this body is experiencing right now. Taking a few deep breaths, emphasizing the exhale. And with each breath, we can bring more and more attention to what is here now. This sound, this sensation, this feeling, or this whatever is here, just the way it is. Just acknowledging it, feeling it. Knowing that it is here, simply being whatever it is, and it is welcome to be here. And as we are noticing whatever is here, you may notice that there are waves of what we might label fear. Sometimes fear can be felt in a very subtle way. So just noticing if there is that. It might not be, but just noticing it. Just because it is our theme today, so we can start by just feeling into how does fear or doubt feel in the body if it is here right now. And if it isn't here right now, then of course we can use our memory to remember and tune into that memory, how it feels in the body. The mind is amazing in that it can kind of recreate an experience for us to relive. Noticing whether there is any contraction or holding, tension. All these words we might relate to that sensation that we might have the bigger label of fear. Perhaps it's much more subtle. Perhaps it's even changing moment to moment. And however it is absolutely perfect in this moment. And then we can bring our attention to the sensation of sitting on this seat, feeling the ground holding us up, the feet on the ground perhaps. And then when we're ready, we can open our eyes and come back to this screen. So our theme today is how can we overcome fear and doubt? Fear and doubt seem to be really quite heavy, apparent obstacles on this path of openness, freedom, opening our heart, living in wholeness and oneness as our true nature. It seems to be that when we experience fear, there is a sensation of kind of closing, contracting, believing in separation, as if I'm in here, located and isolated, separate from the world out there, separate from you. And the world seems to be a very scary place. We might doubt ourselves, as if there's something wrong with me. Everybody else knows how to live, how to be someone, how to do it all. And I don't know. There's something missing here, or I need to, be better. If only I was different, then it would all be much better. And of course, the world can be a scary place. Sometimes not only are we physically threatened, but also emotionally, psychologically, we can feel threatened, perhaps rejected or hurt, abandoned. And for apparently very good reasons, we have developed all kinds of protection mechanisms to try to protect us from feeling all of these very painful experiences. And fear seems to be a very strong mechanism. It's like a warning signal. When there is fear, it's like these alarm bells, right? Something dramatic is going on here, and I need to deal with it. I need to do something to deal with this sensation that is like an alarm bell. And of course, we know that this comes from our animal instincts, right? That when we are in the wild, then we feel fear. Well, we need to take action to run away from the lion that's chasing us. But in most situations in our daily life, we're not faced with lions or even that many physical threats. Luckily, most of us live without too many physical threats. But if there are physical threats, then fear is a good alarm bell to take action, which is great. It's useful. And also with emotional or psychological threats, apparent threats, or even real threats, we need to also take action, right, to protect this vulnerable heart, right, so that our vulnerable heart isn't exposed, abused, broken, and so that we set boundaries to protect our sense of safety for these delicate humans. So all of these mechanisms are very useful, but sometimes they become overactive. Right? So sometimes we are imagining threats based on our past experience, and the threat isn't actually present in that moment, but it is perceived to be present. We are reliving a past memory, and it seems that this situation right now is very scary. And in that moment, all we can do is be with that fear, right? All we can do is be with it, is embrace this human in whatever he or she is going through in this moment. Feeling it, acknowledging, yeah, I'm human. And no matter what I recognize in terms of my true nature, how unlimited I really truly am, in my lived experience, there's a human experience. And in that human experience, there are these mechanisms that protect and defend, right? And they overwork sometimes. And even though they have good intentions to protect and defend, they don't always see clearly. They don't always see that actually the current situation isn't a real threat. But so we have to just meet these protection mechanisms for what they are and have compassion for them, because they are trying to help, and to see the nature of them. They are trying to help. And what I find very helpful also is when we can, it's not always possible, but when we can step out of the mental story to the physical sensation, and to just feel the sensation that we label fear. To just feel it. And it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's really intense. Sometimes it feels so intense, it can feel almost like it's going to kill me. But usually it doesn't kill me. And it is possible to just stay with it, to ride the wave, and to do whatever is necessary to take care of this human, to self-soothe in some way, so that the nervous system can calm down. And in that process, you can start to realize that the present situation isn't actually that scary. It's okay. And it's the same with doubt. With doubt, usually it's very similar to fear in a way, but doubt is usually this mental story of there's something wrong with me. And this story keeps me small and safe. right? If I doubt myself and I believe that there's something wrong with me, that I can't possibly do whatever I'm supposed to do, I can stay very safe in this small me. And when we see the nature of that identity, of this small me, we can see that it's doing its job of trying to protect me based on past experience where perhaps I was too exposed and it didn't feel safe. Perhaps I was attacked or rejected in some way. And so it's safer to doubt and to stay small. Again, we can come out of the thought story and feel the sensation of that. And then it's all very much more simple. And again, we can see the compassion, with compassion, the innocence of these mechanisms, that they're just trying to help. And saying all of that as our true nature, which of course we are beyond all these mechanisms, paradoxically, we are both. We are that is always free, always untouched, no matter what fear or doubt is here. And so when we recognize that we are, when fear or doubt comes up, we may have compassion for it, as I said, but at the same time, we can recognize I am not limited to that small me identity. I am not limited to the protection mechanisms. They play out in me and they're fully experienced and felt in the human experience. But simultaneously, I am free. And from there, I have compassion for these small me's that arise. They are so welcome to be here, and they're seen within their limitations. But this that I am embraces them all, holds them all in love. And it is this love that is the only thing that overcomes fear and doubt. And it's not that it overcomes it. Actually, it's the opposite, it's that it embraces it, it holds it. It doesn't need to overcome it at all. Fear and doubt can be here forever. But when you know your true nature as that awareness of it all, then you can see that it's never limiting you. It's never isolating you. You're never located in here. You are never separate. It is the play as if. Within the human experience, we play the game as if certain experiences are really scary for me, or I need to play this small me to protect me from other me's or other situations out there, as if there is an out there and an in here. We play this game and it feels very real. It doesn't feel like a game. It feels very like this is reality. And that's the amazing nature of this game. It's how real it feels, how much it is felt fully. But when you recognize your true nature, you can see that I'm not limited to that. So that is the only rest in it all. Then fear and doubt are not obstacles to opening my heart or living from love, living in oneness, wholeness. They're not really obstacles at all. They only seem to be obstacles when I believe I am this limited me. I am me that is afraid. I am me that doubts. Then I want to free myself from fear and doubt. I want to move it away, get rid of it, so that, as I might imagine, that one day I will be free. I will be at ease always and never experience fear or doubt. But it doesn't work that way. fear and doubt are natural human responses to life. They are welcome to be here, and they will be here as long as we have these human bodies. But we can keep seeing that they are not who I really am. And that gives a lot more space so they can be fully felt. We don't have to get rid of them. But at the same time, we don't take them so seriously to really be me. So fear is felt, it's intense, but the difference is that it doesn't belong to me or mean anything about me. It doesn't mean that I really am limited to this story or this protection mechanism, or that I am really separate. I'm always free. I'm always the love, the open heart that loves it all, no matter what. So I'd love to hear from you and to hear if you have any questions or would like to have a dialogue. Yes. So first of all, just to say, I love to have dialogues like this on with the video, but if you prefer to just type a question in the chat, that's also possible. And also to say that I can't respond to questions or comments on the YouTube live stream, only on Zoom at the moment. Okay, yes, Christina.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi to all. Nice to see you. Yeah. I want to share this 2 weeks. I have a very strong asthma in this body. Has asthma in the evening, all the night, and I don't like to use medicine, so I take onion. But I used to tell stories, but now I'm just watching this. I have to be in the sitting position because it's better, and I just observe this, and it's like thousands of children crying when you breathe, and
Mm.
it's like, and when I get up in the morning, I'm happy. I don't know how to say it's not. I used to believe that I have asthma because of fear or because of that or because of this, but just I'm now just observing and feeling into this, and it's just what is, and it's come and go and come and go, and it's okay.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I noticed with all these emotions or feelings, everything you just observe, it's not real. This all this thinking about this, nothing is real because in the moment everything changes. And what I am, what is always this, but but this is fully felt. Everything is fully felt.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, as you say, like all those children crying as you're breathing. Yeah, it's intense, huh?
Yeah, where these 2 weeks now, but it's somehow it it's very it's hard, but it's so freeing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, and to see that all the labels that you put on yourself, that you experience asthma because of this or that, or something that you did wrong.
yeah,
And when you don't believe that, then you're left with just what is. Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that if you need to, you don't, that you shouldn't take medicine or something, though, just to say, or to do
Yeah,
something,
but yeah.
to
Yeah,
something
it
like,
comes very strong, okay, but till I can till I can breathe,
yeah,
it's okay.
make sure you can breathe. That's important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I trust that you know the limitations of your body and
Yeah,
experience. So, yeah, nice. Thanks, Christina.
yeah, thank you.
David.
Yes, hello.
Oh.
So I have a question for you. So I've been dealing with quite a lot of kind of energy releasing over the last few months, and it does create a sense of fear that it rises in the body. Even during the session today, I could feel in the belly and in the chest.
Mhm.
And during your guidance, there was like an expansion of knowing myself as the openness, and I could see the contraction just kind of almost like floating in the openness. So it's really nice to experience. Um,
Mhm.
so I'm sort of wondering, recognizing that myself as that open stillness, that sort of warm embrace of everything. And then also knowing that this body mind is contracted. It's sort of, I'm wondering in terms of how to go about in the world. Like, is it trying to relate to people from this openness while this contraction is still there? Um, you understand? It's like, where do I move from? How do I do that?
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful question. And there isn't a simple answer. Well, there is and there isn't in a way. It's a paradox. Um, yeah, I mean, you may notice that when you interact with people that all your old mechanisms are there, right? All of your old contractions and protections and, defense mechanisms are there. And so you may watch yourself being triggered sometimes by certain people or what happens or whatever. And if that happens in openness, right? So it's an openness that is open even when the experience feels like it's closing. And knowing that it's the compassion for the times even when you feel triggered. Now you can kind of remind yourself again and again that, okay, I need to just open my heart and not buy into these protection mechanisms. And that's a lifelong practice, right? Of continually coming back to the sensations, nourishing your human pet. I like to see these humans in a way like pets that we need to take care of, nourishing and supporting your human, so that it learns that life is safer than it has previously believed, and that it is safe to relate to other people from that openness. But like I said, it is a lifelong process of meeting all these closing patterns and protecting patterns and feeling them, breathing, and forgiving yourself for closing. Even though you know yourself to be open, still this closing will happen. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that I am closing. You know, that openness is still open. You know. I don't know if that answered your question, or we can speak a lot about that actually. There's lots to say.
I think there's just like such a, I don't know, attachment to needing this to be open. It's sort of like
That's good knowledge. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And so that I would invite you to feel into that one, right? That sense of attachment, or I would even call it an identity that, you know, just perhaps, you know, it's like the spiritual identity, right? That has a preference for an expansive experience. And it's that one that actually causes the belief in separation in this case, that it's saying, well, only expansion is it, right? And any contraction is not it. Any contraction is excluded from life. And this is the opposite of what we're speaking about here, actually, that everything is included without exception. So that will mean that often there will be experiences of contraction. And that doesn't mean that you are contracted. You are still open. It's just that that openness is not an experience. It's much bigger than simply an experience of openness. So I think you mentioned that you've been doing a lot of energy healing work. Well, great. And that will be great for the body, for this human, right? To learn that life is safer than you previously believed. But it will also create experiences of openness and expansion. And when you have an experience of expansion, enjoy it, because it's bound to change at some point. That's just the nature of experience. You may have noticed in your life, right, that what opens closes, what goes up comes down, and you know, it's waves of this and that, open, close, open, close. That's what it is to be human. It's normal. And as long as you are trying to fix your experience to be just one thing, in other words, just openness, you are excluding half of life. So, although this may seem disappointing for the spiritual seeker identity, it is about coming down to the ground and meeting what's actually here, not what you'd like to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it is initially disappointing to hear this message in a way, but I can see that it's the truth. It's the only. Um, yeah, I think just talking here is that just because that's connected.
Sorry, I can't really hear you. You're cutting out now. Try again.
A bit better now?
Yes.
Okay. I think the main point that I'm taking is just because the energies are contracted doesn't mean that I am contracted. And I just need to, at the moment, remind myself of that. Yeah.
Yeah. In a way, there's the kind of excitement that you might feel from a sense of expansion of like, ah, yes, this is beautiful. You can also see the contraction in a similar way, in that it's an invitation to meet myself in this. So when there's a contraction or something uncomfortable or fear or something, this is an opportunity to meet myself. You know, this is actually much more interesting, I could say, you know, than the sense of expansion, which is beautiful, but you can't land in that. There's no conclusion there. It's bound to change. So the fear or contraction, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, what's happening here? Let's look at it with curiosity. This is interesting. What's going on? We shine a light on it without it needing to change. Right? We're not trying to make it change. We don't have a goal of coming back to expansion all the time, but we just keep looking at whatever is here with curiosity. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's such an attachment to trying to open this again and again, and yeah, it's really helpful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I have to just say that it's a common issue of our times also, right? That it seems normal to be chasing experiences of highs, any kind of high, whether it's on the spiritual path or spiritual highs, chasing highs or chasing good experiences or quick fixes is what our culture is teaching us all the time in society everywhere. So it's understandable that we'll bring this also to the spiritual path. Yeah, someone else. Nicole.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Nicole.
Yes, thank you for this this open meeting, because it's something that I've been experiencing quite a lot of recently, fear and doubt, for a couple of reasons and good reasons. But what I really noticed is the fears coming in and the doubts coming in, and that's just there. The energy's there, and I can sit with it. It's the overthinking that comes with it as well. The thinking is so trying to fix things, and if there's a way out of not feeling, it's over analyzing, and I'm really noticing that. I mean, for myself, I'm just coming back to my heart and just allowing it to be here, and also realizing there's nothing wrong with the thinking. It's trying its best. It's just a mechanism to try and solve things.
Yeah, exactly. And just also to say that we don't have to swing to the opposite extreme of like forcing ourselves to feel everything, sit with it and like feel it.
Yeah.
Because that would be the opposite extreme, right? Of being kind of harsh with ourselves.
Mm.
So, it's a gentleness, it's a sensitivity, as you described very well, like just seeing the nature of the thinking, and keep coming back to the sensations. Noticing the waves.
Yeah. And addressing some of the things that where the doubt is and where the fear is. In the past, I think I would have probably brushed it under the table and tried to get around it, and I have done in these two instances that is causing this. I've done that, whereas now I've sort of being a little bit braver and facing it and said, well, actually, how can I take action?
Yeah.
And not knowing how to take action, but sitting with that, and then something comes in, and oh yeah, okay, I can do that.
Yeah, well, when we are like practicing coming back to the sensations again and again and feeling, then we can see that the beliefs that we've held to be true, that seems to have stopped me from doing something that could be done. We can see through those beliefs more easily, and there's more space to take different actions, to feel the courage to step into the unknown. Yeah.
And there is still one of those identities wanting to be there. That's seen as well, oh, I just want to be there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The thinking just wants to do it all. And we can just keep seeing that, and you know, having a little laugh, and we just keep seeing it, and and stepping out of it, and it's there that we step into the unknown again and again, and that is the aliveness, that is the freedom to move in a fresh and real way, connected and sensitive to what is here.
Yeah, when you said that earlier, it really hit home, that in a way the fear is, I was going to say exciting, but it's human, and that's
Yeah,
even though it's uncomfortable.
and sometimes, I didn't mention this earlier actually in the introduction, but sometimes fear is an invitation to take action in a positive sense, that if you have a choice between two things, for example, and you can feel that there's fear for one path, often that is the kind of sign that that's the path you should take, because you feel the challenge of it, that it's scary, but at the same time, life is kind of inviting in that direction. And it's the challenge, or it's the invitation to meet the fear and step into the unknown. Actually, fear can be very helpful in that way.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I get that, yeah. Thank you so much, Unmani.
Thank you, Nicole. Margot.
Yeah. Hi, Unmani.
Hi.
Yeah, I could really relate to what Nicole said about the thinking. Whenever I'm fearful, then I notice that my mind starts creating these imaginary scenarios, and it's really intense. Like it's almost like a movie kind of playing in front of my eyes about all the terrible things that are going to happen. And I find it very difficult to step out of those stories or to stop those movies or from playing and to come back to the sensation. And every time I have the power to say, okay, now stop it, then within 5 minutes, it starts again and again and again. And it's, yeah, do you have any advice to actually, going, going back to the sensation and kind of, because those stories are really feeding the fear, and then the fear feeds the stories, and then kind of really get into a kind of rabbit hole.
Yeah. I can understand that. I mean, especially with some of these kind of old stories that have been going for a long time, they maybe come in different versions. They often are almost, childhood stuff or based on some old wound or trauma. And you may notice that there's different levels of sensation in a way. They're not levels, maybe that's not the right word, but it's there's the fear itself, but then there is also the adrenaline rush, kind of excitement about the fear. And if you can, in those moments where it's possible to bring attention out of the story to the sensation, you may notice, first of all, that there's an excitement, like this adrenaline rush.
Mm.
Might notice it in the solar plexus area or somewhere else in your experience. And so it's, of course, more exciting to go back into the thought story, because that will fuel the adrenaline rush and keep that kind of cycle going, which is the same as like scrolling through something, or eating a lot of chocolate, or just that addictive cycle. So basically, you're just in that moment, you're addicted to the adrenaline rush. And it looks like it's about whatever you're scared of in the story, but it's really got nothing to do with that. It's the addiction to that adrenaline rush. And so if you can, when possible, acknowledge, oh yeah, I'm feeding this. It's very exciting for me. And it can seem like a big leap to step out of that. Like letting go of any drug when you're addicted to it. It's challenging. But sometimes we have to go cold turkey. I don't know if you have that phrase in Dutch.
Well, I know what you mean, yeah.
You just stop it. And it doesn't always work. And sometimes we go back into it, or often we go back into it, because it's such an ingrained old habit. And then also it can be that the fear or the original sensation underneath that adrenaline rush is really uncomfortable and scary. And
Yeah.
so we do this adrenaline rush addiction so that we don't have to feel that. But often when we do step out of that adrenaline rush addiction and we start to feel what is underneath it, it's often not as scary as we might have imagined it might be, or if it is, it's just a sensation to be felt, and it's the mind that kind of builds up the drama, right? It's like adding a whole movie of all kind of dramatic things, and those dramatic things most of the time are not related to anything in reality. They're not really true, but they're very exciting. So you're creating a movie for yourself, just like you might watch on TV. And we love to tell ourselves stories, and that's what you're doing, right? You're telling yourself a story, and you're enjoying the story.
Yeah.
It's up to you, how long you want to play that story.
Yeah, you're right. It's a paradox in a way, because I'm really those moments when I'm in fear and all these stories are playing out, they're really the most painful moments of my life. I would really rather not experience that again. And on the other hand, I can recognize the things that you're saying, that when I'm in that state, I get my body gets very excited. And I even realized that, for example, lately I've had worries, for example, about my pregnancy. Oh, is everything going well? Blah, blah, blah. And one of the coping mechanisms that I used was watching a dramatic Netflix series, because then this excitement would be generated by the fake stuff that was happening in the movie, and my mind wouldn't create stories about the pregnancy and everything that could go wrong. because it would be occupied with the drama of the characters in the movie.
I understand, but it seems to be when we feel a certain energy, there is a tendency to want to attract or create more of that same energy. Right? So when we are experiencing that kind of excitement or fear or adrenaline rush, the natural kind of tendency is to gravitate towards more of that, at least to switch, like you said, to switch from the previous one or to create more of that. And actually, what this body needs is the opposite. It needs soothing, calming stuff. Yes, whatever it is, listening to relaxing music, giving yourself a kind of a self massage, right? Something that's very relaxing, calming, bringing yourself back to the body, out of which is the mind, and calming this body, soothing it like you will be soothing your baby soon, right? And in fact, you are already soothing your baby already. Your baby is there in you, and it's also being affected by your adrenaline rushes, which is not great for it, he, she, whatever it is. So, the sooner you can train yourself more to find ways to calm yourself, the better it is also for your baby.
Yeah, thank you.
But I understand saying that, I also, I don't want to make it wrong. What you do by watching Netflix, okay, if you do that, you do that and enjoy it. But when you can, if you can, rather find ways to self-soothe. Your body would appreciate it much more, and you'll be more breaking the habit eventually as well.
Yeah, it's worth thinking about, like, what can I do in those moments physically to calm down my nervous system.
Exactly. It's not just about changing the story or changing
I'm just saying stop
the channel
and having thoughts, trying to stop more thoughts, and yeah,
exactly. Do something physical for the body, something calming, take a walk, something that steps out of this kind of adrenaline rush energy.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay, thanks, Marco. We have time for perhaps one more question or dialogue, or another. If anyone has a question, you'd like to type into the chat, I can also respond to that. I see Nicole, but before, I just want to see if there's anyone else who hasn't. No one yet. So yes, Nicole, go for it.
It was only just to say that I recognise when you were talking to Maho, there was a really recognition that all that overthinking and everything was real adding to that separation of me, the separate one. It just became really clear when you were talking to Maho. I just want to say thank you for that, really.
Yeah, Great.
Yeah. It was just sort of creating more of a separation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to see it kind of energetically as well.
Mm.
There's a certain frequency or energy that, of that, zzz,
Yeah.
buzzing. And it's exhausting because the body,
Yeah.
a lot of effort to do that and to create all this drama as well. And what it's longing for is like, just to come to rest,
Yeah.
but it
Even
doesn't know.
if it's
When it's in that, it doesn't know how can I find my way out of this? Okay, I'll kind of just generate more of this. But actually, if we can find ways to calm it, even a little bit, or to change the subject somehow, yeah, and get it used to like, okay, we can switch out of that. It's okay to let that mode, that frequency go. I don't have to keep that going. Relax now. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ruth, last one.
Yes, very short. I could follow emotionally, intellectually, and from the heart very well this whole hour. But there is one part is irritating me, and this is that you say in a situation where you feel fear, and you have the choice to go directly into the experience or avoid it, it calls you to go into it. Did I understand right? No.
I'm not sure if I know what you mean. It calls you to go into it. What do you mean?
Not to avoid the fear, but to confront or to be if you have. I understood that you said if there are two possibilities, go for the call of the fear. Go.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It's not that it's always that. Yeah, it's just that, sometimes when there is a choice about something, there might be a fear about one direction. For example, let's say there is a course that you want to do, but you're afraid because it's new or it's going to be challenging or there'll be people you don't know and situations you don't know. And the fear is there, but it's kind of an invitation, to feel the fear and step into the unknown. That's what I meant. But it's not that always when there's fear you should go for it. No, sometimes you need to listen to the fear and say, okay, this is too much.
Now I understand. And my situation was now in the train that I was placed close to a man who was scary for me. And first I felt into the situation, and then I decided to look for another place. And this felt like taking care for this body and this emotion also. But this example, what you just said, I can very well understand, Unmani.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you listened to your feeling of what felt unsafe for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also really, really, really important, right? That we listen to the signals of fear.
Yeah.
That sometimes there's really something that doesn't feel right. That even if the logical mind might say, no, come on, it's not scary. Yeah. But your body is like, and has a sense of this is not okay.
Yeah.
And we need to listen to it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I just mentioned this.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, to let you know that the next open meeting live streamed will be on the theme Longing to Belong on the 17th of August. So I look forward to seeing you here next time. And also just to let you know that every Tuesday morning at 10:30 UK time, I'm doing an hour of silence, which will be on Zoom and live streamed. So you're welcome to join me for that too every week. And yeah, the early bird discount of the retreat in Portugal is available until the end of August. So yeah, I hope you can make it. Also, it's online as well. Yeah. Okay, that's enough of my advertising things I want to say. So thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.